Hi guys, my name's Wright. I'm a landscape photographer working in Granada, Spain. Now last week I decided to do some waterfall photography, and what this involved was scrambling down the side of a gorge, about 400 foot, very steep, the path that had been semi-washed away with rain. And when I got to the bottom, I found the Rio Dercal was about twice its normal size and travelling twice as fast, and I had to cross it in order to get to the side where the waterfall was. So, a little bit of an adventure, but let's for a moment just talk about what the requirements are for autumn photography and waterfall photography in particular. So, autumn photography, definitely you'll need a circular polarizer. That will really make the colours pop, and autumn photography is all about getting those colours, getting that rusty look, the greens and the yellows and the reds, all bursting out the frame. Waterfall photography on its own, you need to slow the water down. So your circular polarizer is going to do that job to an extent. That will get you probably half a stop. But you're going to need another kind of filter on top of that, and what I used was a 0.9 neutral density filter, and that brought me down to about 10 seconds, 10-second exposure in these circumstances. Now remember that these figures work for me in this particular circumstance. It was very dark down there. So I had kind of a head start. If you were doing this in bright sunlight, you'd need a much more powerful neutral density filter. So these figures are indicative, but the point I'm really getting to the bottom of here is your circular polarizer is going to slow the shot down a little bit, so you'll get a longer exposure out of that. Put on a neutral density filter in front of that, you'll slow the shot down even more. There's no need generally to go to, 10 stops or whatever. You don't need this to be really flat, but you need to be aiming to get the perfect balance of slowing the water down and getting the speed of the water represented, and you're only really going to do this by trial and error. So knowing what I knew about the gorge, i.e. that it was dark, I took with me a 0.6 and a 0.9 MD filters, and we tried these, and let's see how we got on. What we're looking at is the Rio Dercal gorge, and I'm just going to come across this gently. And you can see the abandoned terraces, and we're going right down there into the trees and up around the corner. I'm about halfway down at the moment. Yeah, just look at the way the sun's picking out these trees on the hill to the left. I mean, that is absolutely gorgeous. I think I'm going to have to take a photo of that. We've come here to photograph a waterfall, which is sadly on the other side of the river, so I'm going to have to climb across. See, the river is really quite swollen here. I'm going to have to wade across it to get to the other side, to get to the waterfalls, and we'll see how that goes. And I think I might be in luck here. It's not totally straightforward, but I think we're going to have a go at fording the river here. Yep, it's the fallen tree across the river routine, laden down with God knows how much camera gear and stuff. Let's see how this goes. Okay, let's here we go. I'm here at a waterfall about 3-4 miles from Conchar, and it's quite amazing because the river is seriously swollen after the flooding, and I've had to wade across the river knee deep in order to get to this waterfall. So all in all, quite extraordinary. I've got very cold but not wet feet because I'm wearing waterproof socks. I did think ahead of this. But this is absolutely an amazing scene here because the light, there's all sorts of detritus around, the light's coming through the trees. It's absolutely beautiful, and the waterfall is twice as spectacular as it normally is, so this is really well worth the effort to come out here. So what I've done is I've set up the camera. I've got a 16mm lens wide open. We're in portrait mode, 100 ISO, and I'm looking for long exposure. So I've put a 0.9 ND filter on the front of the camera just to slow this water down. I'm hoping this is going to look quite spectacular. So there's a lot of spray flying around here because of the volume of the water, but let's get a photo fired off. Okay, so we'll just get the frame sorted out. And off we go. So we're looking at a 10-second exposure. Fantastic. I like it. Yeah, so we've got the shot slightly overbaked at the top right hand side where it's very sunny up there, so difficult to handle that much light and shade, but I think we've got pretty much most of what we want here. So this is a slightly different perspective. What's nice about this is we've got some water in the foreground. Not very much, but just make a little bit of interest in the foreground. So it's different from that rather scruffy tree. And of course we've got a better look at the waterfalls, a bit more sunshine coming in, which might make it harder, but let's see how we get on with that. The real beauty of this spot is I'm completely alone here. It's fantastic. Nobody's been able to walk across the river like me. So normally this is quite a popular spot with photographers and so on, for obvious reasons. Right, let's go behind the rocks and see if we can get a shot of the waterfall side on. Probably way too loud to hear me talking here, but this is quite extraordinary. We've got some really interesting stuff going on here. Let's have a quick look. Guys, if you found this video useful, it'd be great if you take a moment to just drop down below the video on YouTube and hit the like button, and if you haven't already, the subscribe button. It would be absolutely fantastic. Thanks for watching this week, guys, and we'll see you next week with another video. Thanks very much. Bye now.